Well, good evening. It's a great weekend. Everybody has got to be upbeat and happy. It's looking great, and we're here. We're back again with the Sunday bunch on the panel tonight. We've got Conrad, myself, and Terry. Just the three of us tonight. A little bit cosy. It is. So, how's your day been, Conrad?
Yeah, it's been good. I'm trying to think what I had a lovely lie-in this morning. It was my weekend for one, just while we alternate. And then been and watched Newcastle lose. That was good fun. And then just getting ready for this.
And of course, you were with the clocks going back. You got an extra hour in bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was a bad night for dyslexics though, because their clocks went black. But anyway, never mind. Don't worry about that. Terry, you can work that out in a bit. You're all right. Terry, how's your day been?
Yeah, it's been canny. Been for me run, been for a nice walk, and just had a bit of a chill. So a nice lie-in. I love a lie-in.
Nothing better than a lie-in. A good old Sunday morning lie-in. Right, don't forget, of course, we are live, which means you can have your say. And who wouldn't want to have their say after this brilliant week, what we've had, sitting pretty top of the league there. We're going to talk all things Sunderland and anything else you want to chuck into the mix as well. We'll do our best to try and mention as many people on the chat as we can. Starting off with, of course, he's always first. Las Palmas Mackham up the top there. There he is this evening, lads. Peter Selkild. SAFC Tom's there. My mate Tony Lee says, all right, Mungy and the team. Just get your shout-outs in there. We'll do as many as we can. And like we say, as we go through the topics, chuck your oar in, and we'll do our best to bring you into the conversation. Sunderland 2, Oxford United 0 yesterday. So, how confident, and I'll tell you why I'm asking this in a bit, right, but how confident were you before kick-off that we was going to go there, do the job, get the win? Conrad?
To go there, do you mean the Oxford game or the Luton game?
No, we'll do Oxford first. And then what we'll do, we'll go back and we'll have a chat about the Luton game as well.
Confidence before the Oxford one. Yeah, I thought we'd quite easily and comfortably win this one. I know Oxford have done all right since been promoted this side, but I thought we'd easily roll them the way we've been playing. That we don't get beat at home. So I just thought it was going to be another easy day at the office for us.
All right. So you got up on Saturday and you thought, this is it. Nice and easy, go and do the job, top of the league, blah, 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 all that. It was exactly. And the reason I'm asking, it was just for me, it was so typically Sunderland that we could go to Luton midweek, which was a tricky game. It was a hard game. And like I said, we'll get onto that. And it was so Sunderland that was going to go there, do the hard job, come and on paper, no disrespect to Oxford United, but on paper, we're at home, top of the league. Do I keep saying top of the league? I'm not apologising for keep saying top of the league. That it was just so typically Sunderland that we was going to go into that game and we were going to mess it up and stop this momentum. And that's why, I was hopeful for the win, but I still had that little bit of niggling doubt in the back of my mind. Terry, how confident were you when you woke up yesterday morning?
I'd say about 80%, to be honest. I mean, but I was the same as you. I had a niggling doubt to do with, you go away to Hull, you win, you go away to Luton, you win, you think got a nice easy game against Oxford. The Sunderland of the past maybe 5 or 6 seasons would actually make a mess of it and maybe to get a draw, but it's different this season. And I just, so I was absolutely over the moon to get 9 points out of possible 9 points. That's a fantastic haul. And everything seems to be amazing at the moment in time. It looks fantastic.
Oh, it's a joy to be a Sunderland fan. Just very quickly, let's go on to the chat here. Emma, our very own Emma off the channel, is watching, and she says, well, hello, which is how she starts her OnlyFans page normally, like that. Somebody called Conrad Lee. Are you on the chat and all? You can see what
I did put one on before we started. Yeah, I just put how are the lads.
Tony Lee there says dominant performance from start to finish. Job, man of the match. We'll get on to man of the match in a bit. We'll definitely do that. David K. Hi lads, top of the league. Up by Easter. Yes. And we have said, listen, and it's looking more and more. If that is looking possible, we will definitely get some SAFC Fan TV up by Easter t-shirts and get them out and about. We've got to do that. SJ is starting this thing from last week, I think. ISIDOR is a winger man, partly. So is he a striker? Is he a winger? Who knows? Right, okay then. So yesterday morning, you saw the team news comes through. Noah in goal for Patterson. Firstly, I'll go on to you, Terry. How did you feel about when you saw that, and how do you think Noah did in the game yesterday?
But to be honest, I mean, there's a couple of times I thought against Luton, Patterson looked to be maybe injured himself and he was struggling at times. So I wasn't at all surprised to see Patterson not there at all, and Moore. But yeah, so I mean, Moore, I thought he did himself really well. I mean, let's face it, the whole team played really well, and Oxford weren't really sort of that much of a threat, to be honest. I mean, we controlled most of the game. So Moore didn't have a great deal to do, but what he did do, he did really well. So he kind of complained. He come in, he did the job. He has experience to do the job, and I'm happy for him. Yeah, great. I hope Patterson gets back soon, though.
Right, okay. Just very quickly, I want to jump into the chat here because we are going to come on to this anyway. So I want to read the comment out first, and then we can when we get to that we can go back to it. Martin Smith, time for some humble pie from the panel tonight. 4 weeks ago, stripped Dan Neil of the captaincy, take him out the team. Maybe an apology to him. Well, like I said, we're going to come on to Dan Neil, so we'll go back to that. And if we've got to eat humble pie, we would be. I'm sure each and every one of us would be glad to eat humble pie. You know, if Dan Neil, turns it around and does what he needs to do. Well, there's none of us on this channel want any of the players to play badly, to do badly. We're all in the same boat here. Conrad, you saw the team when it was announced. What did you think when you saw a move for Patterson, and how do you think he did in the game?
Well, I was that sort of like just transfixed on trying to get the stream set up. I almost forgot that he'd actually swapped until the last minute when I was putting the players' names in. I gone, it's a funny way of spelling Patterson now. But I thought he did really well. I think if we look back to the Preston game at the start of the season, he was one of the people we actually said had a decent game, even though we lost that match, really. And then he came in, he had a miscontrol from a sort of dodgy pass in the first few minutes. And I thought, is this where everyone's going to jump on his back? But the two actual shots they had, if you can call them that, were a sort of one that just rolled across the grass to him, and then a weird sort of cross that again was straight at him. So he wasn't really called upon, but every time he was needed to be there just for a simple catch or just getting his body behind it, he did it. And it didn't look like the defence had to do any sort of adjusting to a different style of goalie behind them. It just seemed like it was a seamless swap almost for Moore and Patterson. Forgot his name.
Right. I just need to go on the chat here, first of all. Pixel Rich says, good grief, never seen Terry in his gym jams. Well, we've let Terry off this week because obviously, he got married last week and he spent the whole week in bed, apparently. So good on ya! So also SJ on the chat there says, I thought we'd win. I thought we'd slip up against Oxford. They haven't won away from home. And of course, those bogey things were what happened. David Hutchinson, a Newcastle fan, on here says, well done to Sunderland so far. I hope he's come up to the Premier League next year. He's saying that they didn't do too well against a good Chelsea side. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in anyway. And we don't mind reading your comments out on here. David Miller, Dan Neil was superb on Saturday. The whole midfield was Job, a Colossus, and Rig, a trickster. Right, okay then. Comfortable win I'll tell you what, before we do, we got 136 people on the channel tuning in, and thanks to all of you for that. We got 35 likes. So we try and get 100 normally on a Sunday. So if you can just hit that thumbs up, it'll take you a second to do that. If you're watching on a mobile device and you've got the live chat on, just close the live chat with the X in the corner there. And what you can do is hit that thumbs up. That'll help us out. And more importantly, we are now only 200 subscribers away from that magical 10,000 figure, which we're trying to hit. And it would be nice if we got that before Christmas. So if you're watching and you're not a subscriber, it's free to subscribe. All you have to do is just hit the red button. So if you're watching this, you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the red subscribe button, do that, and that really, really will help us and push us on our way to 10,000 subscribers. Right, it was, I mean, me personally, I don't know about yourselves, you know, it was a comfortable win yesterday. You know, I don't even think we hit top gear, really. Do you think we should have actually gone for more, bearing in mind how close the goal differences and things like that? Or do you think we got as many as we could? Conrad?
I think if we were going to be really harsh on them, I think that's the only real criticism we could throw at them yesterday, that at half-time, for all our dominance that we had, it was only 1-0 at the time. But it's probably not just as easy as saying, oh, let's go out and get more goals. Oxford still sort of defended quite well, and we didn't really test it. I think ISIDOR missed a sort of simple header. The keeper made a good save from Roberts' free kick. Yeah, that's probably it. We should have scored more. We didn't, but at least then second half, Sunderland didn't make the appearance and ruin all our work in the first half. We carried on in the same vein, and ISIDOR took his goal very well.
Right, okay. Just very quickly back on the chat. Don't forget, we are live. If you want to join in the show, just get yourself in there, and we'll do our best to get you on. We'll make you famous, like Terry is. Coffee Goblin. Oh, it's getting silly now, man. Away up by Bonfire Night. Right, Emma's going, get it right, up by Christmas. Chris go low, up by Saturday. Now stop being daft, man. Away. David says Patterson looks like he's put a bit of weight on, which we brought this up the other week about Patterson's really, really tight shorts, which for some reason my wife noticed. Dirty cow. But anyway, Terry. It was a comfortable win. Do you agree? Do you think it was? You know, should have we really, you know, tanked the screw and tried for 4, 5, 6 goals?
Couple of things. First of all, ISIDOR might not be. Someone says he's a winger, but he knows where the back of the net is, and he knows he's a potent striker, because he definitely got that goal yesterday was absolutely a fantastic take. On the Dan Neil thing, there's not one single Sunderland fan out there I would think would want Dan Neil to fail. I'm a massive Dan Neil fan, have been for years. A young lad from the terraces, Sunderland fan through and through. Imagine the delight and just you know, how he fails captain in Sunderland, and for him to get sent off before, nobody wants him to get sent off, and we have good backup in Brown. And if it means, you know, at some point we have different opinions, it's all about opinions. But every single Sunderland fan, whether you think he should be captain or not, we all want the lad to succeed. We're all 100% behind every single player, and even more so behind the homegrown players, because we want these lads to do really well. And I'm over the moon. Dan Neil had an absolutely fantastic assist yesterday in a great game. But yeah, I mean, the first half, 1-0. We probably should have scored a couple of more to make it a bit more comfortable at half-time. But like I said, the second half was just as comfortable, wasn't it? We didn't really look like we were ever going to let a goal in. We're always controlling the game. And everybody did their bit yesterday, and it's great to see. And even better, likes of Leeds drawing, Burnley drawing, 5 points clear at the top. It's better than your wildest dreams at this moment in time.
Is that why you're spending all your days in bed then? You're not.
I just love being in bed. And by the way, no, I didn't get married. I'm not on honeymoon. I'm actually in my studio. You can see all my shirts behind us. I don't even know what you're looking at.
Well, you better not have got married, because we never got an invite. I mean, that would have been a bit shoddy, that.
I don't even know where that came from. I don't know which idiot even mentioned that.
You get loads of numpties on the internet just saying all sorts of nonsense.
2 and 2 together, you get 5. I mean, I might have been wearing a wedding dress, but oh, God knows. I mean,
Yeah.
put 2 and 2 together, you get 5. I don't get it.
Oh God. Well, look. Well, when you
It is
do get
Halloween,
married,
it is Halloween nearly.
listen. When you do get married, I know a fantastic DJ who can do your gig on the night. I'll give you his number. It's not me, by the way. Right, just very quickly, back on the chat down here. There's a few people mentioning about ISIDOR, and I don't know if it's ISIDOR, whatever
Wilson.
we're going to call him anyway. A bit like, by the way, Regis Le Bris, who we've called Le Bris from day one, and they're all saying Le Bris now, but I suppose saying Le Bris, it rhymes with our new song, don't it, I suppose, really. So,
Le Bris.
whatever. Le Bris rhymes with it then, doesn't it? SJ said, is it possible to sign ISIDOR in January? I'm going to get onto that, so I don't really want to go much into it. Robert Foster says, according to Phil Smith, we have a set fee in place for him. So, and that's again going to relate to what we're going to say shortly on that. Was there something else? Oh yeah, yeah. Wilson is going to be a Sunderland legend. Chris Gore says on there. Right then. Well, let's go on to Dan Neil's performance then first. You know, we have. It's not that we've slayed him, and I echo what Terry said. You know, there's certainly not one of us on here, and I'm certain every Sunderland fan wants Dan Neil to do well. And you're right, Terry. You've blown Dan Neil's trumpet since before he was heard of. You know what I mean? You've wanted him up there, so you know, fair play to you for that. But you know, he had struggled. Yes, go on, Terry.
But like I say, any player is not beyond criticism. It's not being negative. You can have constructive criticism because you want to see all the players do really well. You want to see the team do well, you know. And if any player, you know, it doesn't matter who it is, lets the side down slightly, we have good backup on the bench to actually, you know, give them a rest and bring them back in. So everybody wants Dan Neil to succeed. Of course we do.
Yeah, that's it. And you're right. You know, none of the players are above criticism, and that's it. And that's why this channel, you know, if we came on and just said, "Oh, they're all great and we love them," and just said all nice things, and you know, we do get a bit of stick when we criticize either the club or the hierarchy or certain players and what you're getting on the backs and stuff like that. But we're here to give opinions and tell it how it is and what we think. You know, it doesn't mean. You know, if we're having a go at a player, it doesn't mean that, you know, that we don't want him to succeed. We are all in the same boat here, and we want every single player to do well. And, you know, it's all about opinions. So on to Dan Neil. And yes, we had said, is the captaincy weighing him down? Is that what's affected his performance? Because there's nobody out there can say that, you know, he's been a different player. What did you think of his performance yesterday then, Terry?
I think over recent weeks, it seems like he's been a bit more restrained and he's a bit more sort of a defensive midfielder, and he seems to get really deep in defence and help the defence out. And that's part of his role now, then so be it. But yesterday's performance was a lot better. You know, and confidence breeds confidence. And when you go away to Hull and you win, and you go away to Luton and you win, and the backs, you know, like the Allymore against Luton, we're getting battered, but we come away with the points. And the confidence starts to breed. You come back to the home game against a team. You know, Oxford drew the last 5 games, and they drew against a couple of good teams as well. So there would be no pushover, but they just come from League One. So really, the standard shouldn't be as high as our standard. So when you got the confidence behind you and you're at home, or the crowd behind you, you're going to shine. And Dan Neil yesterday for me was one of the better players. He shone, and that I said that assist to, I think it was for Wilson ISIDOR, was a fantastic assist. And it's great to see the lad do that, you know, because we want them all to do well.
Right. Okay. Just very quickly, before I come to you, Conrad, I want to jump in on the live chat here. Sleepy Board Games says, Phil, the goal difference isn't close. Don't be negative. We have 5 matches unbeaten, 5 points clear. Everyone on the Lance was immense. Mepham Saturn. Well, it is close. You know,
it's 2.
We're a couple of goals, and we've been fortunate to stay top over the last week. You know, we've had the same goal difference, and in fact, with Leeds, we had the same amount of 4 goals for and goals against, and it just went on. I think it must go on away on how many goals you scored away from home, because otherwise it would have been alphabetical order. And Leeds
it's not going how many games you've won after you've got the same exact. So we both had 19, and we both had the same let in, but we'd one more game.
Maybe it is. I've been trying to work it out since the start of the season. Why? Because it would normally go like alphabetical order, and it never has.
I'm not fussed about goal difference at this moment in time. It's more important to keep winning, and that's what we're doing. Other teams are slipping up. That's why we're 5 points clear. And goal difference won't make a difference if we keep on winning games of football. Yeah,
but that's fair enough. But at the end of the season, goal difference could be an extra point. So it is important, and I don't think it should be ignored. And basically, sleepy board games. You're entitled to your opinion. I don't. I do think it's close. I think it's, but that's where we're at. Before I come to you again, there, Conrad. Where was we? Something about Dave the Rave down here somewhere. Can't find it. Oh, Dave the Rave calls Le Bris Inspector Clouseau. He does. He normally when he's in the Wheat Chief, he has a chant, and he I don't know. I might record it one week and I'll play it. I'll play it for you. All right, doesn't make sense, but never mind. That's Dave all over. Conrad, Dan Neil's performance then yesterday, and I suppose over the last few games.
Yeah, he's certainly stepped his game up in the last few weeks there. I mean, ever since the Watford game, probably heard some of the online criticism, maybe even some of ours or other channels as well, but he's answered back in the best way possible, and he's put in some actual assured displays, not giving the ball away and leading like he should be from the middle of the park. And I think the one against Luton, I thought he got people didn't give him as much credit as he deserved in that game. I thought he played really well, marshalling the whole midfield, but he wasn't the one necessarily sticking his foot in or playing the passes through. He was just organising everyone exactly where they should be. And against Oxford, I think that's probably his best game this season for us, a lovely little assist. And he was actually playing a bit further up the pitch, I noticed, more when he was on the ball, which is probably where we're all thinking, we've seen him break through the lines before. We've seen him this, but every time he was on the ball, he was forward facing. I'm passing this through their lines. Job or Rig are in there, and they turned and they were onto the defence already. So it seemed to be just an absolute sort of masterclass of a display from starting at the back with Dan Neil straight through the midfield. He wasn't sort of side to side, and it was just straight through to the other two, and we're going straight at him.
And I think as well, being captain, it's not something that you sometimes you just walk into, and it's like there's a written rule book about it. I think sometimes it takes time to understand and learn and grow. And he's only a young lad, so hopefully he'll just grow with experience and get better at doing the job.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. Just very quickly though, on that point, Emma says she still thinks it's too much for him. Feels better without him being captain. People agreeing with you down here. Terry saying, Robert Foster says, yes, Terry, it's the number of games won. SJ says, it's how many games you win. Correct, Terry. Down there, David Miller says, by the way, can we send Marco our best wishes after his heart operation? Yes, we can send him best wishes and a speedy recovery after that. SG also says we're always going to get fans slagging players off. We're fickle. Football fans are fickle. Anybody who says they're not is lying. And before we go any further, I want to say a massive thank you to Dawn Staveley, who's donated £5 via a super sticker. Can we have a round of applause, please, for Dawn? And at this point, we will tell you once again, of course, this channel doesn't make a profit, and we need to keep it going. So any donations are very, very gratefully accepted. You can, if you like, you can donate via the super chat, as Dawn has done. There's a little $sign at the bottom of the live chat there. You click on that, and you can. There's a slider for how much you'd like to donate. You don't have to. You can still you can still comment for free. You know, that's another good way is to become a member. Why don't you become a member of the channel? It's $1.99 a month. It's not even 50 pence a week, and you will go into members only draws for certain prizes. And if you look closely as well, you'll get your name scrolling across the bottom of the channel there as well. There are our current members. Right then, ISIDOR, however you pronounce it, a loan player, but we have an option to buy. Now, should we be doing that now? Should we be trying to buy ISIDOR now? Right, and my reasoning around it is, if he bangs in 30 goals this season, and at the end of the season we want to buy him, then it could cost us a fortune, right? It's still a gamble. If we could buy him now for a little bit less, you know, with then gambling that he continues his form and keeps scoring. But there was a comment a little bit earlier. Apparently Phil Smith, the reporter, reckons we've already got a fixed fee. So in that case, it wouldn't matter. We could wait till the end of the season. Terry, should we be looking to get this nailed down now and make sure we've got him as our player?
So long as this fixed fee is some sort of in writing, so it's there and they can't change their mind, because if it's only a verbally fixed fee, then obviously you can just change their mind. Or they might say we decide to keep him because, you know, if he scores, for example, if he scores 20 goals, like, well, we want him back in our team, don't we? But yeah, I mean, for me, I would buy him in January, or try and buy him as soon as possible. If that's the case, if it's an option, if it's possible to do it, then why not? I'd rather have a player on the books than have a loan player, personally.
Well, for me, and when I was at the match yesterday, and I was chatting to my mate, and I was saying, and he banged in that goal, and you know, I mean, what a goal it was. And I said, here we go again. It's a loan player. We're going to fall in love with a loan player. And I hadn't realised we actually have an option to buy when we saw that, and that's why I thought, right, we need to get this in place. But again, until we heard earlier tonight on the chat, whether it's true or not, that we already have agreed a fixed fee for him. If that's the case, then we might as well just wait till the end of the season, because if he went off the boil, then we'd be in a position where if we didn't want to buy him, we didn't have to. But if that's not the case, Conrad, if it's not the case, do we need to be getting him signed and sealed and delivered right away?
I mean, based on his goal return so far, I would definitely say so. But I was having a look earlier on, actually, at how he ended up at Zenit. So it looks like they took him on loan. I think he got 2 goals in 14, and then they bought him off of that, and he played 3 games, and then they loaned him out to us. So I think they must have had some sort of clause in where they had to buy him had he played a certain amount of games in a short period of time, because you don't normally buy someone and then get rid of them straight away the next season. He must have triggered something, and yeah, if we've got a fixed fee in place, they've probably done a thing to us where they've gone, oh, well, we'll shift him on with an option to buy. You know, that's all right. That's how we do our business. But it's going to be at our gain at the minute, because at 8 games, he's already got 4 goals for us. And not even just, he's had a poacher's finish against Derby. He's ran the length of the pitch against Hull. He's done a screamer against Oxford. And I'm forgetting his other one, but I'm sure it was great. I'm sure. Oh, the little cheeky finish against Watford away. Oh. He's scoring all kinds of goals for us. And if you could get him nailed down early onto a deal, I would definitely do it, because everyone's fallen in love with him already. And you've seen him after the match singing along to Wise Men Say. You've seen him out early, sort of signing shirts, taking pictures with kids. It's exactly what you want. And he just seems to get the club and get the vibe straight away.
Right. Okay. I just want to quickly come back to you on that then. Before I do, we've got 180 people on the stream at the moment. And on my last look down here, we have 78 likes. So we're nearly there. We're trying to get to 100 as we do on a Sunday. Just hit that thumbs up. Give us a like. That will help us out. Somebody's saying here then, Danny D, the fee to sign Wilson ISIDOR is up to €6 million, including add-ons. €6 million? Would we pay that sort of money, do you think, Terry?
Probably not right now, we wouldn't. But I mean, if it's in a deal and it's done and the figure can't change, then I agree with you. Then just wait till the end of the season, see how it goes. If it's already sort of in a contract, then there's no reason to sign him now. If it's not in the contract, then, well, whether you want to pay $6 million, I don't know if we would pay $6 million just now, to be fair. Maybe we'd have to sell someone in January, wouldn't we? Yeah,
John Murray says $6 million is a good price. $6 million is absolutely nothing. If he bangs 20 goals in this season,
it's nothing compared to that.
You know, strikers. How long have we wanted a striker? We've wanted a striker for seasons, and look what we've ended up with: a left winger.
Has the regime spent anything over a certain amount of money though?
Alexis, our most expensive signing at like 3.1 million, and he hasn't played a minute for us yet. Now I know he's very much going to be one for they're looking at in the future. I imagine when Neil, Bellingham, or Rig eventually move on, if that were to happen, Alexis probably the one that sort of steps in, a bit like when we got Mundell. But it's not much money. You'd imagine in January, if players are outgoing, you'd say maybe Rusin's not going to be around much longer. Bar's probably not going to be around much longer. Ekwar at the end of the season potentially on his way out as well. So you could imagine selling 3 or 4 players, we'd make 6 million and be able to sort of go, there we go. Sort of we've cashed in some of our youngsters that didn't necessarily work out, but you know, we've got a fee for them. It's profit because Ekwar came in for nothing. So whatever we got for him on loan and whatever we sell him for is still profit for us.
They might be thinking maybe he's like, you know, we'll get a fee for him and we'll have a contract ready in case we get promoted to the Premier League. Then we'll buy him. That's where the money comes from, doesn't it? You get promoted, you get this big pool of money.
All right. Couple of things on here then. Robert Foster says, I don't know how we're going to buy ISIDOR. St. Petersburg is a Russian club and we don't trade with Russia. So, also on here, Ian Curry.
How did we get his loan fee across then?
Well, who knows? Ian Curry says, is it heck 6 million? It's 3.5. So again, nobody knows. I mean, people are chucking these things and we're reading them out. There's no, we don't know of any substance behind these things that are
then in the January window, we get rid of maybe like Sabar and Rushin, 1 or 2, like sort of the ones that are not really going to make the squad at this moment in time. Then you buy ISIDOR, don't you?
Well, yeah. Tony Lee says Dead Cars was a good change. I'm going to get onto that as well. We'll do that. Nearly 200 people on the stream at the moment now. Thanks to you lot for tuning in. 93 likes. All we need is 7 of you lot. Just 7 of you, right? To just hit that thumbs up, and that's it's our 100. And better still, if all 200 of you weren't subscribers and you hit the subscribe button, we'd do 10,000 subscribers tonight, and we'd love you all. And if you did that, I would personally come round to all your houses and I would give you a kiss on the botty. There you go. Right then, other sides are dropping points all around us. I've said over the last few weeks that there's no team grabbing this league by the throat and running away with it. All right. However, are we now that team who are doing that? Are we seriously the ones taking our chances? I mean, the results couldn't have gone better for us over this last week. Conrad, are we actually the main players in this league now?
I think we've definitely got to be up there with the main players, especially from the last week of results where, you know, necessarily we didn't play that well against Hull, but we dug in and we got the result out of it. We were physically abused by a very awful Luton side, but we still came back, showed our strength this time that was changed from 2 years ago and managed to win that game as well. And then we showed our complete other side against Oxford, where we were just in cruise control, and it looked like Oxford should have brought a ball for themselves to play football with because they weren't getting anywhere near the one we were having. So it's been if you can go through games when you're playing bad, when you're playing good, when you're playing all right, and still winning, we've got to be up there with one of the better sides in the league for the end of the season anyway.
Was it somebody put that tweet into our WhatsApp?
No, it was all me. No, yeah, it might have been.
yeah, because it was an Oxford fan had tweeted something about can we have another ball because Sunderland are not letting us play with theirs apparently, which was a very good way of putting it. We've hit 106 likes. Listen, thank you very much to you lot for that. Keep going though. Keep hitting the thumbs up if you would. That would be that would be great for us. And like we say, it's the subscribers we're after. We need the subscribers to get us to 10,000. Free to subscribe. All you gotta do is hit the button. Do that, and like we said, we'll love you. We'll love you forevermore. Terry, are we the main players in this league now?
Look, I mean, let's face it. We've had a few years where we've been poor in League One, and we've been down and out, and it's dare we dream now. Dare we dream. For me, the next 4 games, we'll go away QPR, we win. We get a win against Coventry at home, possibly get a win against West Brom at home, then Sheffield United away. If we get 10 out of 12 points in the next 4 games, then I say, yes, we are that team. At this moment in time, it's looking brilliant, and I'm over the moon. But I still, you always have this little bit of a niggling doubt in your mind that it could all just cave in. But I think if the next 4 games, we come away with 3 out of 4 wins, then I'm saying to myself, yes, we are definitely that team. We've crushed that barrier where we're moving into almost 20 games. I think we're getting there.
Right, Terry, here's a question for you then. This will test how confident you are that we're going to go up automatically, right? You booked your room for Wembley, haven't you?
Yeah, Wincy asked for us, aye.
Would you be prepared to cancel your room at Wembley?
I don't think Wincy would be ever prepared to cancel a room at Wembley. But like I said to him the other day, it would be absolutely brilliant to cancel it for a good reason this time, not for a bad reason. To cancel it, you have to get
the P at the end of Sunderland. That's why you cancel it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I must admit, I haven't booked a room yet. And even though I thought, well, we've got a chance of making the playoffs, and I know my prediction amongst our channel members here, I think I said Sunderland would finish 5th. So I was sort of, but that was more hopeful for me, I think.
Mike said 2nd, didn't he?
And I think, Mike said 2nd, and I think, and I didn't book a hotel room, and now we're at this point. I'm thinking, maybe I should, but I just love. Normal Sunderland would make these slip-ups and do things what normal Sunderland do, and we just don't look like normal Sunderland, and I love that.
Well, even when we have slipped up, if we count Plymouth and who was the other one, Watford. We've bounced back straight away, got back on the sort of the winning run straight after it. Yeah, the Watford one, silly mistake for the penalty. All right, fair enough. We just got straight back on it. The Plymouth one was a bit of a mad game, a few rash tackles here and there, and maybe
that was a penalty as well, wasn't it? That was a penalty.
Yeah, and we were chasing where we equalised in the 88th, and it was maybe a bit of naivety not to go, should we just shut up shop and call it a day? We've just got back in. But what happened the next game? We beat Middlesbrough, or we beat Derby, whoever it was after the Watford one. And even Leeds, we nicked a draw against Leeds, and then we went straight on this run and have won 3 in a row. We might mess up in an individual moment, but we'll get straight back up again and just carry on, which is what champions do, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what Regis Le Bris said. He says, you get a defeat, but it's how they learn from them defeats. And it looks like we've learned from the defeats. We brought in Chris Mepham since then as well. And he looks absolutely amazing in defence. I mean, how good does he look in defence?
Can I ask about Mepham? Me and Mike were saying this yesterday. We were like, so Ballard and Elise are both back fit. Who drops out? Because Mepham's not dropping out. But
you can't drop anybody when you win in football. You can't. To be honest, it's unfair to change your winning side, I think, personally. Barring, obviously, you get somebody that's a bit of a niggle, like, Patterson maybe. But I think, if you're going on a run like this, nobody deserves to be dropped. So they've got to sit on the bench and wait their turn. And that's when you have to rotate the squad. When a player has a couple of bad games, that's when you bring somebody in to push them and push for their place. That's what the squad's about.
Right, okay. Just on the chat here, Ian Curry's saying, do you give credit to the same players last season or the new manager? And different people obviously saying John Murray manages the best signing of the summer out of the several great signings. Stephen Martin is saying the manager for me. I think we all can agree the difference has been Le Bris. So that rhymes with our new top of the league song, Terry.
But also players, in the hierarchy of criticism from all of us, and players are being brought in very young. And you've got like Sir Job last season, who got a lot of stick, mind, for playing every single game. He got a lot of stick for his performances, but he has come on this season. He looks a different player altogether. He's filled out, he's grown, he's matured. The confidence for me, he's one of the best players that's grown from last season to this season. And that's what happens when you bring in young players. Some of them, obviously, won't do well. Some of them will plateau, but some of them will improve. Chris Rigg again, another young lad. He was 16 last year. Get up to 17, he's improved. He's an absolutely fantastic player. So when you got the Jobs and the Chris Riggs of these worlds coming through in the same team at the same time, then you got a manager coming in who's managing them, absolutely spot on. When you go from someone like, Dodds is obviously a good coach, whether anybody likes him or not. He's obviously a good coach in the background, but when you get a good head coach coming in as well, he can bring these players on again, and you've got to give credit to all of them, to be fair.
Definitely. And like you say, we have criticised the hierarchy without a doubt, but you've got to take your hat off to them at the moment. Everything's falling into place, and yeah, it's all looking rosy. Just very quickly, I want to read a comment out from our very own Emma, who's tuning in here, who says she's got her hotel booked and she's not cancelling it until about 1 week before the end of the season. So in that case, then, Emma, why are you spouting off up by Christmas? How are you, man? Have a word with
yourself. Got the playoff final that we won't be in.
Oh, well, there you go. Never mind. You can sell it on. Right then, we've got 211 people on the stream at the moment watching. Thanks to you a lot for that. 121 likes. Let's see if we can try and get some of these subs up. If you're watching and you're not a subscriber on the channel, just hit that subscribe button. It's free to do that. Let's get these subs up and try and get to 10,000 before Christmas if we can. Yesterday then, retro music. I don't know. I don't think you lads made the game, did you? So I don't know how much of it you know. But when we was there, they were playing all sorts of old music, just basically celebrating our 140-year history and stuff like that. Some people liked it, some people didn't like it. We ran out to Z cars, which a lot of the younger members, viewers watching, won't necessarily understand how that relates to us. But Emma did make the comment about how we ran out to Z cars, and I'd said, well, when I was stadium announcer from 1990 to 92 over at Roker Park, Z cars is what we used to run out to over there. And I did say in our group chat, until of course I got sacked at the end of the 92 season, and she didn't know why. But the reason I got sacked, so this is for Emma who's watching, the reason I got sacked was because back in the day, it was when Sunderland made the cup final, the 92 cup finals that season, and it was towards the end of the season, and we got stuff coming through on the radio, and what happened there, John Barnes had got an injury, had been stretchered off, and he was doubtful for the cup final. So, of course, me at half-time then announced, and by the way, John Barnes has been stretchered off, and he's now doubtful for the cup final. And, of course, the whole ground cheered and all that. And then I got hurled in and said it was wrong that we should do that we should get the fans cheering over somebody being injured and stuff like that. And I got my Wembley ticket, and then it was bye-bye. So that was my my tale of being a stadium announcer down there. Right then, man of the match. Who was your standout player yesterday? Who did it for you? Conrad.
I gave it to Job on our stream. I just thought he was absolute class in the midfield, just breaking up everything, driving us on, took his goal really well. Could have had another one that clipped off the top of the bar. I just thought he was class yesterday all throughout, so I Gave it to Job.
Right, fair enough. And Terry, for you?
Unlike certain people in certain governments, it's always great to, you know, to sort of remember your roots and your history. That's what it's all about. Remember your roots, your history. You know, people in the past who have done things for the club, and you know, that's what it's all about for me. So I'm over the moon. That's what I did yesterday. We'll go back to the normal ways, to normal music another weekend. There's no reason. There's no, you know, end of the day, I totally understand that and respect what they did. But for me, man of the match, totally agree with Conrad. I mean, you can pick one or two people out easily, but I like Job. I think Job yesterday took his goal really well, and I think he's just. It's just like a breath of fresh air with him this season. He's just a different player altogether. I just love everything he does at this moment in time. It's just at a higher level. You can see the quality, the absolute quality, and you can tell his brother's Jude. You know, you can see what's going on in the family, and I think one day he'll reach those heights somewhere.
Yeah, but Jude's having a bad time over at Real Madrid at the moment.
But he's still at a good level, a really good height, and I think Job will make it to the Premier League himself as well, hopefully with us.
I think I've got to agree with you. I mean, there was a few. What I did notice was that I thought Roberts was a lot better yesterday, because he'd gone a little bit off the boil, and then he got dropped for Luton, and whether him being dropped for the Luton game was tactical or not, probably was. But I think it's as though he came out yesterday, and it's like, you dropped me, and I'm going to show you that you shouldn't have dropped me. And I just thought he was all right. But I think Job was probably more or less head and shoulders above everybody yesterday. Terry?
Yeah, I think 100%. Alan Brown was brought in for his experience in midfield against Luton, because we see what Luton could do. Luton, that kind of ground, a lot of our young players will find that totally different altogether, So I think he was brought in to do a job, and unfortunately Roberts was dropped for that game, but he was brought back in straight away. So Regis Le Bris knows exactly what to do, and to pick the team and to change the team when it needs to be done. So hats off again.
Yeah, fair enough. Miles, I'm going to read this one out because, to be honest, I quite agree with this as well. Miles Percival says his man of the match was Luke O'Nien. I didn't think he put a foot wrong yesterday as well. So
he took a clattering twice as well, I think, from some of their plays. He was on the deck a few times. Not necessarily when the sprinklers came on for him.
Yeah. I mean, what was going on there? Right, I'll tell you what, before... go on, sorry.
That's what I mean as well. You got Ballard and obviously Alessi back, but you can't drop Luke O'Nien either, because he's been brilliant this season as well. Stand out, consistent, Mr. Consistent defence. And again, he's proved us all wrong. We all thought, will he be able to raise his game up to this level? And he has. He's raised his game again. So all credit to Luke O'Nien.
Yeah, fair enough, Terry. I do want to give a shout out to our channel sponsors, footballprizes.co.uk. I was on the site as well this week and having a look. There's free entry competitions on there. You can just go on and enter for free. Why wouldn't you? It's just a case, go on, it'll take you seconds and stuff like that. But also some great prize. I'm not going to harp on about it, because I'm going to go to our little advert down here. And do remember, there is that link in the description below. You do need to check it out. But we're just going to have a quick word from me. We just want to say a massive thank you to our channel sponsors, footballprizes.co.uk. This is a fantastic site, and of course a must for any genuine football fan. You can win some superb football memorabilia, cash prizes. There's absolutely everything on there. Check out the site, get yourself on. You can enter yourself into prize draws. Now all you do, you buy yourself a ticket. It can be 99p. In fact, some of them are even free to enter. So you get yourself on there, you buy your ticket, and then they have the draw. The draw doesn't have to sell out before they do the draw. So you've got a great chance of winning some superb prizes. There is a link in the description below if you want to check them out. It is footballprizes.co.uk. And once again, a massive thanks to them for sponsoring SAFC Fan TV. God, I said that bloke gets better looking every time I see him. Right then, What we got? Oh, I can't believe we've only got 10 minutes left. Let's quickly run through Luton. Which, and to be honest, if you've been to Luton, you would want to run through it. But anyway, Luton 1, Sunderland 2. Tough battle. Did Reggie get it spot on with his team selection? Because it was going to be a very, very different game. Terry?
Oh, 100%. He did. I know exactly. Bringing Alan Brown in with his experience, but it was going to be a tough game down there altogether, you know. And they have a physical, in-your-face sort of team, you know. They're all over you. And I thought our defence was absolutely amazing. I thought we got battered in the first half. It was corner after corner after corner. And I thought it was a matter of time before they scored. But that's the best I've seen us defend for a long time. Under that kind of pressure, Sunderland of old would have buckled. We would have let a couple of goals in. But for me, that just shows the character of the side, the character of the team, how they withstood the onslaught and then had the confidence to go out the second half and understand that Luton couldn't keep that goal for 90 minutes. They would get tired eventually at some point. And then we caught them on the counter-attack and we scored 2 goals. And even when, we scored, Chris Riggs' goal was superb. When they equalised, we just didn't fold. We bounced straight back on Mundle. And again, Mundle's goal was another superb finish. That just shows the character of this side and may longer continue because it's amazing.
Yeah, definitely, Terry. I mean, I said to our last when it was on, I said Luton have dropped a bollock here, not going in front in the first half. That was their chance, and it was all day. Second half, Sunderland were going to come out, and we did what we had to do. Conrad, it was a tough battle. They're a physical team. Reggie get it spot on with his, like I said, swapping the team about.
Yeah, definitely. There was a time towards the end of the game where I think I noticed it best, where we actually had like 4 men across the front of our midfield, with then Dan Neil sort of sitting in just behind, and then the back 4 as well. So it was really good just to sort of see that every time we sort of lost possession, we went straight back into our shape. And Brown's just absolute class at chasing people down and trying to hustle and harry them for the ball, and he's got a sensible head on him, and it just seemed to show straight away that the team looked better as well for it. I think I agree with Terry that I think in the first half we definitely rode the pressure, I think, and sort of got away with it. Obviously, they had their contentious goal ruled out correctly for offside when Jordan Clark was in front of Patterson and then tried to get a touch on it before it went to Carlton Morris, who wasn't offside, but doesn't matter, you went for it. And then, I think second half we didn't seem to let them sort of come back out and suffocate us as much. And then we nicked our sort of goal to get ourselves ahead, put them on the bit of a back foot, so they had to come out, so they got one back, and I think they thought, oh, here we go, we're gonna, they'll fold now that we've conceded one we've got, and we didn't. We just carried on doing exactly what we had been, and like Terry said, you give it to Mundle, and that's what can happen for you, and it was just all-round fantastic display. Once we went 2-1 up, I didn't see them coming back into it at all.
Right, okay. Just very quickly, Sleepy Board Game says Le Bris said it was tactical against Luton to bring on Brown, so Roberts was dropped, which is what it said. Just very quickly, Conrad. I mean, you say about their first goal, which was disallowed. You're saying wasn't offside. The player put it in wasn't offside.
No, he wasn't.
No, the player put it in wasn't, but the player in the middle definitely was. And to say that he wasn't interfering with play would be silly. So
it's just that he jumped for the ball, he jumped for the header. He was there trying to get it, so he's offside.
Right, a couple of little things. We'll try and condense it if we can, because we are running out of time. I don't know how you watched the match against Luton, whether you watched it on Sunderland's stream with Danny Collins and what's his face?
Frankie Francis.
Frankie Francis. Sorry, Frankie, for getting your name there. But I watched it on Sky. And
oh, God, I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, the co-commentator on there, which I think was Chris Alumo, or whatever.
Chris Alumo.
Well, I mean, he should never work for Sky again. I mean,
it was the most biased thing I'd ever heard all the way through it.
Absolutely shocking. And you're not allowed to be like that. And I know it's probably more noticeable to us because he was so biased towards Luton. But I mean, still, I mean, I've never shouted at the telly so much. Honestly, it was like, he was absolutely shocking. But anyway, to get that out of the way, the other thing I wanted to mention about Luton was the first half when we were under the cosh, and we rode our luck a bit as well. We continued to pass it out from the back when they were closing us down straight away, right? And the amount of times we lost the ball in that dangerous position, should we not have? I mean, they stuck with it, and fair play if they've got the confidence to still do that. Should we not have changed it? Because I mean, I was shown why are you still doing this when they're obviously being straight on us, Conrad?
I think I said to Mike during the stream, I don't know if Sunderland realised you can't be offside from a goal kick, and yet every time Patterson took a goal kick, it bounced straight through to their striker. And I was like, every time he's launching this ball forward, ISIDOR should just be standing up on their striker because it's dropping just before him, and you can't be offside from it. You can't be offside from throw-ins. You can't be offside from the corners as well. So it's like, well, why not? It's coming in, but. Yeah, we just did seem to be inviting the pressure on in the first half, and I don't think it was a tactical thing. It was just, this is how we're going to play, and we're going to continue to do that until it goes wrong. And because it didn't go wrong, we carried on.
Terry, that playing out from the back.
I think sometimes you just got to give credit to the opposing team. I think Luton were on top of the game. I think they played really well. I think sometimes you're going to get those games where you can't always control every single game. You can't always be, the dominant team or be comfortable against Oxford. You're going to have games where you go away and teams are going to try and batter you, and you're going to have to just soak it up and just do what you do best. And you've got to be able to pass the ball a bit better, but you can't always be on top of your game. It's a sign of a good side to not be playing good football, but to come away with the 3 points, and I'll take the 3 points any day of the week.
I noticed we did our half-time tactic again, where Luton had been out for a good 2-3 minutes before we even came out, and then they all came out and stood in the tunnel, and they still just did not move. I know, it's brilliant.
I love the way they stand there and say, well, you get cold outside. We'll just wait here in the ball.
They all sort of walked out, the linesman went off, and then they all just stopped and went.
Yeah, I tell you, it's
brilliant. Love it.
It's first-class shithousery, without a doubt. I mean,
credit to the first team that realises that we do it, and they do the same thing, because it's going to happen at some point. The manager's going to say, let's just wait until the final moment. We shouldn't be going out there for 10 minutes and wait by Sunderland to sit in there, chilling out.
I mean, the only time
I've seen us do it the other way is Watford came out with us during that game, but we were chasing the game against Watford at that time. So I don't know if he sort of said, go out there now and go out with them.
I think Luton is the best I've seen us do it. Because like you said, we even came out the tunnel and then we went, hang on a bit, we all waited.
Stop here.
And it's a brilliant. I mean, I hadn't noticed it until you said, Conrad, and you think, what a good idea. You've got the other team. We're all fired up. They've at half time. Come on, we're going to go. And then they've got to wait,
don't they? The guy who goes out first does his ring walk, then has to stand and wait, and the other guy always waits about 10-15 minutes and then does his ring walk in. So he makes the other guy have to stand out there before he gets a go.
Okay. Let's quickly wrap this up with QPR Sunderland coming this Saturday. One thing I'll ask before I get your predictions off you. I mean, do we go with the same team? Or more so, if Patterson is fit for the QPR game, is it fair to drop Simon Moore to bring Patterson back in? Terry?
Yeah, I think this is one of the circumstances where you can do. Yeah, I mean, Patterson's been, in the team all season. He's been in the team nearly all season. Last season, barring one game, like someone said to me, Sheffield Wednesday, it's his position, unless he plays really bad. But the performance against Luton, some of those saves against Luton kept us in the game. They were amazing saves, two absolutely fantastic world-class saves. So the lad deserves to be in the side. And Moore is a good deputy to come in and replace him whenever he gets injured. That's the way it should be for me, 1 and 2.
Okay. SJ on the chat says, yes, Patterson is better. Conrad, just quickly, do we keep Simon Moore in goal, or do we bring Patterson back if he's fit?
If Patterson's fit, I think you bring him back in because he he's a really good shot stopper for us as well. And thankfully, Moore didn't have that much to do against Oxford. Wasn't actually tested, with that. If it had been the other way around and he'd had to go in for Luton, we might have seen if he were, what caliber of keeper he was at that point. But he deputised very well, as Terry said. But if Patterson's fit, I think you always play Patterson instead.
Right, okay. Just very quickly then, I'm going to go to predictions from you. Emma's already getting hers in there, who says she's saying 2-2.
Sacrificed.
Yeah, she sacrificed it because every time Emma predicts a win, we get beat or whatever. So every time she predicts a draw, we win. So she's gone 2-2. She's sitting in a lovely position at the bottom of our little league we have between us, our prediction league. Right, predictions then for QPR versus Sunderland coming up next Saturday. Terry?
I just think Emma's really rubbish at predicting score predictions. That's fine.
Right, Terry, what do you think?
I'm going to go for another 2-0 win.
2-0 win for Sunderland. Conrad?
I've gone for, I think it's just 1-0. Just 1-0 for me. I think I don't think it'll be as easy as the Oxford game. I think they'll try and put up a bit more fight, QPR, because they're battling for points down there. So I think we'll just edge it.
Right, okay. We've got predictions coming in. SJ 1-1. Darren Robinson 2-0. 3-1 if Moore is in goal. Ian Brown says, you know what? I'm going to go for another clean sheet, but I'm going to actually say 3-0. I think we'll stick that on there and hope we can bang some goals in. Look, that just about wraps it up now. Thanks to everybody who's tuned in to watch tonight's edition of the Sunday Bunch. If I can just one more time ask about these subscribers, because I've noticed we've bagged a few extra subscribers tonight. So if you're watching the channel and you've not subscribed, if you please just hit that subscribe button. God knows what that little thumbs up there is. That's the like button. The subscribe button's that red button. If you can hit that, it's free to subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. All right, just hit that, and we're on our way to 10,000 subscribers. That really, really will help the channel out if you can do that. If you're watching and you're not subscribed to the channel, lads, that does just about wrap it up for us. So, Conrad, would you like to just say bye to everyone?
Bye to everyone. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you midweek for extra time on Thursday. Yeah.
Fantastic. Terry's going to get out of his jammies and go to a firework display, I believe.
I'm getting back in the bed, Phil.
All right, okay. Right. Well, that's what when you get married, you have at least 2 weeks in bed.
I'm just not very well, that's all, poorly.
Oh, all right, there you go. Well, we wish you well. Do you want to say bye to everybody?
Goodbye, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new and give us a thumbs up. Cheers, folks.
Fantastic. And when you're next on your channel, Terry, send some over our way. Send some subscribers over our way. That would certainly help us out. Don't forget, please, like we said, we've got an extra time coming up in the week. Forgot to mention, by the way, Conrad, someone in the chat said that you and Mike did a great job yesterday on the live commentary. So thanks to you lot for that.
They obviously weren't listening when we were doing our 1940s commentary and bit like that, just taking the mick.
Right then, well, extra time in the week. There'll be a live commentary on the QPR game on the Saturday. Don't forget, please, to like, share, subscribe to the channel if you would. And don't forget, if you're a member already, then look for your name in the credits at the end. Thanks for tuning in. We love you all. Great being a Sunderland fan at this point. Bye-bye.